So you have multiple niche pages that have millions of followers. Can you just kind of dive into the business model of a media company? Maybe even like for influencers that are out there trying to figure out how they can, build a business around their following. Just like, can you kind of take us through the business model of media?
Yeah, I'll try to, as quickly as possible. It's a little different for me because again, I have this licensing model that everything's based around. That has been a big part of my business model is the fact that I have a licensing company that backs me. So we're able to manage and have this massive archive of all these videos. That's a big part of it for me. But then come the brand partnerships. So what's interesting about what I do is that I am not face forward for my brand. People don't actually know who I am, and that's completely intentional. I don't, even though I do have my name in the bio for all the pages, that is also, it's not a paying homage to myself. What I'm doing there, and I felt was very responsible and important to do. So I have a lot of people who are quote unquote hosts or contributors for my page. Now, what happens is because no one knows who I am, even though I am the creator of all these brands, these people kind of step in and act as the face of those brands. So if there's anything that involves being on camera or any kind of thing that we need to shoot, these people step in and they're kind of the face for it. What ended up happening was that people thought that they were the ones who running the page when on the back end of things it's me running the page. So they are the ones, even though they're getting credited for the success of the pages, anytime there's something posted that people may not like or what someone may find controversial or they run immediately to these people and they're like, what are
When
you
it's you,
doing with
yeah.
this page? And they're like, I don't have anything to do with like I'm the face of the page, but I didn't post that post, I didn't make that caption, I didn't do that. And I realized, these people, Ferris, Marco, Ari, they're all taking the brunt of what I'm doing, and that just wasn't really fair to them. So I'm like, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna put in the bio that, hey, the page is created and run by Rick McGuire, and the host is Ferris, the host is Ari, the host is Marco. Um, so that way it's an attempt to clear more things up. Going back to the face thing. So what the reason that that's important is if a brand were to come along to me, let's use for example my friend Tank Sinatra. He's face forward for his brand. You know who Tank is. He is the one in the profile picture. He is the one in all the videos talking to camera. When a brand comes to him, if Tank's the one telling his audience to do this or drink this or this is what I wear, the brand goes, "Oh my God, Tank's the one who, I love Tank." Um, I do that. People are like, "Who's telling me to do this?" No one knows who I am. So it makes a big difference being face forward for your brand or not face forward for your
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
So I
100%.
that is one thing that for many different reasons I don't want to be face forward for my brand. The way I've always pictured my brands, it's not Rick McGuire presents Subway Creatures. Subway Creatures is all of us. We are all the eyes and ears. That's where I get my content from. Um, we all go through the same situations in the subway on a daily basis. So for me to say that I am Subway Creatures and I am the one, I get it to an extent. I'm a curator, yes, but I want the brand to be the brand. I don't want it to be Rick McGuire presents.
It's a
So
very interesting
that's
it's a
that's a
very interesting
personal
point.
that's a personal decision that I made, which could be beneficial, but it also works against me because now you have Timberland reach out to you and they say, "Hey, we want you to wear this and show up at one of our events." And I'll laugh and I'll be like, "I'll wear that. I will go to your event." No one knows who the hell I am though. I don't walk in
Yeah.
the door and people are like, "It's Rick." No one knows who I am. So that works against me on a brand stand on a from a branding standpoint because if people knew who I was, you look at, anyone who's the face of their brand, that's not me. So that works against me. So again, from a advertising sponsorship side of things, I have to get creative, and I have to also bring in some of my hosts and say, hey, I'm going to need you to step in right now. Your face is on the page a lot more than mine is. I want you to, step in. I'll give you a cut of whatever they're paying us. And that's a different way of approaching this. And
Yeah.
that is one way that I work with my people, when a brand does step in, I'll be like, hey guys, all right, I no one knows who I am, so I'm gonna need one of you guys to step in. Boom. Hey Ari, throw on this Timberland outfit, show up at this event, yeah, I'll give you a big cut because you're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but let's not forget it's also going to be on my page, so I need a cut too. So it's like,
Yeah.
there's ways of working with this stuff that it's a situational thing. It's a case by case basis. But the fun part about what I do in social media is that there's not one way to make money. There's
Yeah.
not one ad revenue. There's so many different ways you could do it, whether it's merch, whether it's video licensing, whether it's partnership deals, whether it's a podcast, there's so many different ways that you can do it, that you can really get creative with. The only thing that I will say that is super important for everyone, maybe this is a good way to go out, you have to evolve. You can't become stagnant. You can't stand still. Um, I'm trying to do it all the time, create new series on the accounts, find new ways to maybe introduce new people, find new ways to make money. Because if you become stagnant, people are like, oh, this is getting old. You may notice with Subway Creatures, I don't post every day. I don't post multiple times a day because the content there is so niche that you're limited to what you can actually do. So if I'm posting 3 times a day, people are going to get burned out and they're going to go, all right, I get it. I get it. Subway is crazy. I get it.
Yeah.
So you want to space stuff out a lot of the time and try to find new ways of highlighting things, storytelling, super, super important. Otherwise, you know, life's just going to pass you by and people are going to be like, oh, I remember that. That was that. And, what's the new thing? Everyone's looking for the new thing. You could be the old thing, but be the new thing too.
I love that. Before we head into the spirit, I just wanted to touch on the face thing because the name of my company is my name. Like Maxwell Murray is the name of the business, but Maxwell Murray also works for the business. And like I started doing the camera to face because when I was running Fits, my marketplace, I couldn't I didn't have any money to hire people to go in and do these different activations and these different shows for me. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna have to hop in front of the camera and do this show and do this interview this person myself. And so it's very there's pros and cons to it, just like you said. Like the pros are, cool. Like I'm out here. I have more control, more creative control over what I do and what I put myself through. At the same time, like it's a little too me, and I want to spread it out and I want to build something bigger than myself. And I think like the name of your brand, even though it can be niche and that can help, the other side of it can be Hilton, Disney, like those were people as well, and so they built things where it's
Yep.
bigger than them. So it definitely goes both ways. I don't know if it's going to end up helping me or if it's going to end up biting me in the butt, but it's the decision that I've made. So I love hearing you say that because like you said, there's just a lot of different ways you can run business, how you can advertise your business, how you can move your business, and it's just to each his own whether what you're doing is gonna work or if it doesn't.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. And honestly, the fact that you already are recognizing that, is a huge benefit for yourself.